the goal today. We're going to explore the emotional impact of different positions in the spectrum of climate change, not whether they're actually right or wrong, or whether we feel they're right or wrong. We just want to look at them. And we also want to experiment using an educational model that attempts to engage different types of experience. We're concerned with the process here, how it works, instead of trying to absorb all the content that's needed or contemplating action steps. And today's event is going to be filmed by Sophia Yates, our machinima videographer. Sophia is a friend of Marley's, and she's filmed several events for her in the past. She's made many videos of SL life. This video being made will be available on the web for interested educators who couldn't be here today. You'll notice in two corners of the platform that we're on, there's two yellow donation bowls. We graciously accept Linden donations from anyone who's able and who feels that the programs we offer are worthwhile. So I just want to make sure you knew they were there. Next to each of the donation bowls, you'll see a blue mushroom. If you click on this, that will give you a list of programs that we offer, and will provide a link to Marley's website where you can find other programs and projects that she's worked on, as well as information on how to purchase her publications and music. During the Q&A session at the end, I will hand out a note card to each of you containing questions. I'll actually hand out two note cards, one that has questions from Bob and Maureen, Eldon and Belden, regarding climate change. And that's just for you to take with you and to think about. I'll also be giving you another note card where we're asking for feedback on how you think that the workshop today went. That'll be later. I'll give those to everybody who's here. So take some time to think about how the workshop went and write down your thoughts and just return them back to me within a week or two if you can. So now I'd like to introduce Milena, also known as Niela Miller, founder of the group Octagon Creative Exploration, which is being hosted by the Whole Brain Health here on Inspiration Island.
Yeah, and I want to introduce Wisdom Seeker Lucena, we call her Liz, who is the overall program director of Whole Brain Health and works with many people on a lot of different collaborations. At some point, it would be great for those of you who aren't familiar with the rest of this sim to just go and see all the fabulous stuff that's around here. I want to welcome everyone and thank you very much for taking time out of your extremely busy lives to enter into this experiment with us. Most of my work in Second Life has been based on using arts-based processes to express ideas or feeling states, and then applying Gestalt methodologies for exploration. My background is in many arts, in education, humanistic psychology, and organization development. And the mushrooms, if you click on the mushroom, it will give you any background or resource information. I'm not going to talk today about the Octagon programs, but that's how you find out. We're approaching the exploration of this emotional issue of climate change using field theory or force field analysis to become aware of what it's like to occupy various positions in this loaded field. Field theory, developed by Kurt Lewin, holds that behavior must be derived from a totality of coexisting factors making up a dynamic field. By exploring these emotional positions along the climate change spectrum, we're looking at forces that either drive movement toward a goal or block movement toward the goal. And we know that even though people have facts, they often make choices and decisions based on emotion. So let's explore these emotional positions and deepen our understanding of them. And this is my contribution to our investigation of the theme. And its overall objective is just to raise awareness about what some of these positions are. After we've done our builds and done brief explorations of each position, which I'll facilitate, we'll have a sharing group here in the circle, facilitated by Amy Lenzo, known as Lucida Sky Tower, sitting opposite me in the other red chair. She's co-founder of the World Cafe and does significant work facilitating online engagement here and abroad. I met her in Second Life, and it turns out she knew Bob, sitting to my left, known as Eldon Jefferson in Second Life, who works on mapping what are called social messes, works at HSTAR, Human Services and Technologies Advanced Research Institute at Stanford University, and is the author of numerous books and articles and has an extensive website of information. His recent and current work has focused on the issues of sustainability. To my right is Maureen O'Hara, known as Baildon in Second Life, also fairly new to Second Life. She's a psychologist, a senior educator, researcher, and author of a book called Dancing at the Edge, which, if you watched her video, her remarks were focused on. She's interested in providing guidelines for the skill sets of the people of tomorrow to be able to handle these unprecedented so-called social messes. I've known both of these remarkably productive people for over 40 years. And later, you'll be interacting directly with them. When we finish with the sharing circle, there'll be a Q&A and time for Eldon and Baildon to answer your questions or further elucidate what they're doing. Now, I'm going to turn this process back to Fran, my go-to tech guy and friend colleague for about 4 years now. I couldn't do any of this without him. And he'll direct you to your platforms.
Okay, we've assigned each one of you a building platform, and notice there's numbers in front of them. Based on who's here right now, we're going to start with number 3, just to keep things organized. Okay, Hef, if you would come over to this platform, please, where I'm standing. Thank you. Number 4, Lisena, would you please come over here? Thank you. Okay, dancers, I know that you're maybe having some issues, but for the time being, would you come over, handle this position? And each of these platforms represents a different position that we're going to model. And these people have been assigned their positions. Number 7 is, this would be Lucida. I suppose I should be giving the position for each one as we go, but we can do that afterwards. We don't have Agile here, so I guess number 11 be Carla. Here we go.
The people who are at their platforms know what their positions are. You can start making a symbolic model, and it's easier to work with the feeling state than it is with the abstract concept, but you're welcome to work with either or both. Okay, so start building. You have maybe 8 minutes. So we have adjusted our expectations according to what life throws at us. So we have how many people, Fran, altogether? 5 building?
Yes, it looks like 5.
Okay, and can dancers build?
Yes, she can build.
I already started. That's my.
Okay, great,
right there,
great.
along with my emotional connection.
Okay, so we have Hef, Liz, dancers, Lucida, and Carla building, right? So those are going to be our experiments for trying out whatever positions they got. And then it'll be enough for us to see how this process works. The rest of you can look at the climate change positions chart that Fran and I put up to see what all of the positions were. And there'll be some, the numbers that we didn't cover, that weren't covered. And then this wonderful page from a forthcoming book of Bob's or Eldons. Over here with the faces, some of which are very amusing. Bob, I really like this, the one about the polar bear hamburgers.
Yes. I don't know who said that. Somebody said that to me.
See, you can see there's a plethora of positions that people take. And Bob, interestingly enough, he has grouped them in a slightly different way from the way we've grouped them. So you can see different kinds of categorical thinking on this. So those of you who are observing, while you're watching what the builders are doing, you can also look over these two charts.
I'd love to have somebody make a three-dimensional diagram of the climate change diagram that's up there on the, I don't know, north, east, south, or west wall. The one that says one way of looking at possible future climate change pathways. I think it'd be really interesting to have a three-dimensional set of pathways built out of Second Life.
Yeah, it would just take a little thought as to how to go about arranging things, but it could be done.
Yeah, it would be very nice because each pathway, you can only go down one pathway and you won't see the others. And then, of course, you'd have to fly back to the beginning again, which is very nice in Second Life, since you can fly.
Builders, when you finish with your symbolic representation, let me know. If the people who are observing want to get into feeling the positions, all you need to do is notice the number of the platform that people are building on, and then look up on the chart, which will have the number of that position. I'm seeing most people standing in front of their pieces. Looks like, Lucy, you're still building, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
almost done.
That's good. That's fine. We're doing good. Now, I want you to check. I always ask people to check with their bodies at home at the computer, which is a barometer that helps you with the feeling process, with the focus, and to see whether the feeling that you're having with this position matches what you're putting on the screen. And you'll feel a kind of click that says, yes, that's it, or no, that's not quite right. That needs to be bigger or more translucent or a different color or whatever. So check with your body. This is a real body-mind kind of exercise here. Do you need more time?
Almost done.
Okay. Liz, you're done, right?
Yes, I am.
And probably first, because you're used to this process, it'll give people an idea how it works. If that's okay with you?
Sure.
Yeah, because you're used to this. You've done this with me before, and I want to.
And I'm trained in it, right?
Almost.
Well, no, I've been doing it for 40 years, right?
Well, but this virtual thing. I mean, this is
Right.
neither of us has done it all our lives. Okay. All right. So I'm just taking a quick stroll around here. Hef, you're done?
Yes.
Okay. Carla, how are you doing?
I'm almost done. It's not quite what I want to do, but that's probably as good as I can get.
All right. If there's something technically that you can't do and you want Fran to help you, you can.
I think it's kind of my picture's evolving as I think about what I want to do, and it's not quite working, but I can explain.
It will evolve some more as we work on it. So, okay.
Yeah.
All right, and let me just check around here. Lucy, how are you doing? Are you done for now?
I'm just playing. I'm done, though.
Okay, great. All right. And dancers, you've been ready for a while, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to start with lists. Now, if you want, you can all, since it's a smallish group, you can all come and gather around this platform, or you can stay where you are to watch. But what I'm going to ask you to do, once Liz and I have explored this position a bit, if anyone else can add to the emotional argument of that position, then you step on the platform with her and give your part of the argument. Okay? And then we'll move on to the next one, if whoever wants to speak more from that position. And then we'll go on to the next one, and the same thing will happen. I'm going to assume everyone who wants to gather around here is here. Okay, Liz, please state the position in I language for us.
I don't think there's any problem. Disasters have occurred periodically throughout history. Way too much concern about this. Is that okay?
There are several parts to this object. So I want you to actually start to role play pieces of your object. Speak to us as those aspects of this position.
I'm going to move into the object. This is how I built it. Okay, I'm first of all, right now, I am inside my object. Okay, and I can't see anybody or anything except the object. So to you, the object, you are extremely, you are your springtime green. When I look at you, I don't see anything except green. Everything looks fine to me in here. I don't have to see anything, even though I'm feeling really uncomfortable about something else that's going on here.
Okay, now if you were speaking as that green part, what would you be? How would you represent yourself?
I am making you feel good. I mean, don't go beyond me. You just enjoy where you are right here. I'm comforting you. I'm taking care of you. You don't have to see anything. This thing around me is really annoying, but you don't have to pay attention to it. Don't look up. Don't look out.
Okay. All right, great. All right, now go to the thing around and be that.
Hey, I'm crazy. I'm spinning crazily. I'm out here and you're not paying attention to me. You just control, you cover her, you control her, you don't let her pay attention to me. I'm here though. You can't get rid of me.
Summarize what this whole build symbolically is saying or representing. Summarize it to the rest of us, and then I want anyone else who can develop the feeling of the initial argument, which is there's no problem. It's a dissociation position, to come and join us on the platform and give more parts of this argument. Okay? So first you're going to just summarize or represent what this is.
So this inside here, if I stay inside this nice little place that's very beautiful and green, I don't have to think about anything. Everything feels fine, except there is this niggling feeling I have that there's something sort of out of whack or crazy around it somehow, but I don't want it to feel it or see it. So I'm going to stay inside here, which is a little constricting now that I think about it. Nobody else can really fit in here. but this is my solution to the whole subject.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, if anyone else can amplify this position and say anything more, being in this position, come onto the platform and say it. You know, for instance, I could say, I hope I can stay in here for a long time and just not be bothered with anything out there.
Well, I'm coming from the spiritual position. So
No, Carla, don't come from your own.
I know, but I'm using that, and so I would say everything will be taken care of. It will all be all right. you've got this little niggling thing going on, but don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine because that's the way it's intended to be.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's go now move to another position. Someone invite us over to their station.
Sure, I'm right next to you. And
Is that dancers?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So you get the idea that I want you to actually become your object and speak from that position.
Yes. Well, should I say what I'm representing or just speak from the position?
Speak from the position.
Okay. Well, I'm just enjoying the meditation that I need to do, and that's the most important thing. I am aware that something might need to have my attention as well, but I'll just take my time to get to it when I can. Most importantly, I need to finish the meditation. But then there's this feeling that there's something else I should be doing, but gosh, I really think maybe not right now, maybe later.
Okay, let's get clear. That dancer's position is procrastination. And
right. I didn't know you wanted me to say that. I was trying to do it, so
no, that's absolutely perfect. That's absolutely perfect. I'm just helping along. So
okay.
The position written on the chart is what's the big rush? And kind of putting things off and doing the things that you feel like doing in the moment. All right? So if anyone else wants to amplify that position, just stand on the platform and
just come meditate with me.
If we all just become vegetarians, we'll be fine.
Okay, Liz, do you have another amplification of this?
Yeah, I'll think about it I'll think about it later. Procrastinate, it's just right now doing this is much more fun, that's all. Later.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more relaxing and it's good for you.
Yeah, it makes me feel good.
Right.
Okay, great. Anything else people want to say from this position?
I think she was very wise she set up something that was very appealing to look at, this object. The object itself kind of draws you, keeps you thinking about other things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, yes. So there's something in the symbolic representation that's a little bit hypnotic.
Sure, there's a number of connections there, but I don't know if you want me to talk about them now or later, or what is your...
You can say a few things.
Well, some of the things I'd say with the meditation procrastination is that there can be something in the object that really does draw you, and yet you might be afraid of it, or you think, well, I really don't have the ability to do something about it. So it draws you, but it also keeps you away, but you know that it's there. And there's the feeling that you want the security more, perhaps before you can, but you see something that's powerful.
Great. And, that put me in mind of saying, as long as I can surround myself with things that are beautiful, I don't have to think about the problems. I like having something to focus on that takes my mind away from all that. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Will someone invite us to her?
Sure, y'all can come over here to platform 7. And And this position is, don't ask me to restrict my individual freedom. That's a state of defiance. And I want to let you know that I work really hard trying to make a living and take care of my family. I'm exhausted, and when I have the opportunity to take a break, I want my freedom. I want to get in my car and ride. All this talk about climate change and fossil fuels, it just feels like a straitjacket on my life. And if I paid attention to it, I wouldn't be able to participate, take advantage of the most relaxing thing in my life, which is to just get in my car and go. I live in America, darn it. I have the right to happiness, and this is what makes me happy.
Wonderful. Okay, do people want to add to that argument or that feeling state? Don't
I dare ya.
My individual freedom. Get right into it. See if you can adopt it for the moment as your own position.
Go for a ride with you. Where are we going to go? Where can we go that's really fun?
Just hop in, babe. I know all kinds of good places to go.
All right. Let's see. Where can we? Is there a sit here? Yeah. Got it. How's that?
Okay, good. Anyone else?
Can I be the car? Okay.
Yeah, why don't you
As the car, I just want to tell you that I am the American dream. You know, I am the gas guzzler. The bigger, the better. I'm a Humvee. A Hummer. So just climb aboard and don't think about anything else but me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yes, well, we can
Great.
go
Fran, did you have something to add?
Just that this is so typical of the American thought process. It's got to have more. And
More.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you have something to say about it? You got a problem with this?
Okay, I want to say...
No problem for me, babe.
I want to
No
say...
problem for me. I live in Arizona with a bunch of freethinkers. We do what we want. We got big, wide open spaces here. We have to drive 100 miles to go to the grocery store. Everybody else could fuck off or else they'll get shot.
Right on. And I want to say,
like
life is short. Life is short. And we work very hard. And, when we have any kind of leisure time, we should be allowed to enjoy it and not worry all the time about the world's problems. Phooey. So, I'm with you. Okay, I think we could all get right into this position pretty easily. Let's go on to the next one.
Oh, is that me? Excuse me. Oh, it's still in works here. Lining things up in Second Life is a big challenge. So you want me to explain my position here, what I was doing?
First, just tell us what the position is. Speak it in the first person.
Okay. My position is that this is, about the human consciousness, and it's a challenge to human consciousness to change and grow in order to preserve the planet. And I see this as a continuum. Going back, we see our beautiful Earth, but in reality, this is a plane of existence that's designed for us to learn to take care of each other and to grow and develop spiritually. That's its intention. That's what the earth is about. And although it looks beautiful and calm and peaceful, inside it's twisted and hard and ugly in many ways. And human development throughout has been moving always through hard lessons to learn how to expand our sphere of acceptance of who we consider to be ourselves, and to care about others, and to care about the earth itself. And so we're at that challenge point again. We've evolved from the time when one neighbor was killing another neighbor and stealing their food and enslaving them in small pockets, to now we're one world and we're one earth. And the challenge is whether we can grow spiritually and become inclusive and loving enough to be able to maintain this earth, or now that we have this ability, will we destroy it? And so I'm optimistic. I believe that we're in this challenge, and we see the ugly, twisted things of it coming out, but growing and expanding into this more enlightened state of being. So that's my position.
Okay, so now, just as an experiment and getting deeper into the feeling state of position, you remember what you said about the white part and the gray part. The gray part is, so instead of using it language, use I language for each of those parts.
Oh, so I'm those parts?
Yes.
Okay. I've had many challenges in my own personal life, and I've known that there were times when I felt conflicted, and I've made choices that I learned through hard experience were not the right choices, that I would do things, and often it had to do with my being selfish or self-centered. And so when I have learned from that is to balance meeting my own needs as a human being without damaging other people. But I've done that through these very difficult, sometimes dark and painful experiences. As I've learned and grown, the pain of it has become less. And the twistedness of it has become less, and I've become clearer in myself about what I'm trying to do and what I need to do to live a happy life on this earth.
Okay. If we were going to state it simply, you would say I have a beautiful, clear dome part of me, and I have a twisted part inside that comes out in various forms. And when it's related to climate change, I recognize that my consciousness needs to be clear in order for me to deal at all with all that darkness. Or maybe I need to address the darkness in order to become more clear. So it's in terms of the actual object that we're talking about, the feeling state. Okay,
I guess I just don't see it. I think in the spiritual state, to me, it's not about the individual. It's about the cognitive whole.
Okay, great. Anyone else want to add to this position?
Well, this is a place where I could just meditate and it would be okay.
Okay.
I think that's true. Scarily true.
The way the position was set up initially is that our consciousness must change if we are going to do anything about the kinds of problems we have. But there are a lot of different ways of looking at that. For some, they'll say that you have to deal with the problems in order for consciousness to change, and others will say it the other way around. So there are different ways of expressing that or looking at the issue.
I guess I should be on my own platform, huh?
Does anyone else have an additional
I can build on that.
building point of view on this? Yeah.
I can. I stand in the place of wholeness and remind us all that we are connected. Nothing happens anywhere that is not connected to the whole. When we recognize our relationship, our inner relationship with all things, we begin to change our behavior. We begin to change our consciousness.
Okay, beautiful. Did we have one more? Yeah.
Yes.
Hef.
Okay.
Okay, let's move over to Hef's station.
Oops, sorry.
At least in here, when you bump into people, it doesn't matter. Only visually.
It still feels weird.
Yes, it does. It does. Okay, this is Hef's symbolic structure. Hef, would you state your position first and then become the object and speak?
Oh, now I'll turn on now you can hear me. I'm one of those people who I keep myself very, very, very well informed. I donate to causes that I believe are going to contribute to the well-being of the planet. And one of the things I do right where I am, wherever I am, is that I recycle. So that's my position. I think that everyone needs to do that. And I'm very proud of the fact that I do that. And I can't understand, frankly, when people like my neighbors or people in the vicinity don't do that, because local action is so very terribly important, as we know. That's my position in a nutshell.
Well, it's not a nutshell. It's some other kind of shell.
Right.
Okay, so now see what happens if you speak from whichever part calls to you first, the white inside or the translucent around it.
What's calling to me is, first of all, is the place that I'm standing in. And it feels like, essentially, it feels like a tower. It feels like a place that's rather pure. And it is also transparent. People can see what I'm doing, and I can ask other people what they're doing.
Can you all see that Hef is inside the white structure in the center? Can you see her?
Yes.
If you can't, then you move around because you can see her quite easily from this position, from the back.
And in fact, I probably should be, let's see what I've got here. I probably should be flying, because I have a very high elevated viewpoint here. I have access to information. I realize not everybody does, but that's extremely important. I inform myself about what's going on, and I have a very lofty viewpoint, I would say. So what I'm looking around at is, I'm looking around at filth, essentially. The water's bad, the earth is bad, and people are not being proper stewards of it. And what I'm trying to create is something that is essentially a beacon of rational behavior within all of this mess.
Okay, so the feeling state is pride.
Very much, yes.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I can't understand why other people, why not everyone would have this point of view. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Okay. All right. Does anyone want to amplify on this?
I was just going to agree with you. I think other people are really stupid, in fact, and I get so annoyed at them. I think they're stupid and evil for having any other point of view than this one.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to say that. Go ahead.
I think that we're all really busy. We work really hard, and doing what we can is enough. We've changed our lifestyles. We're taking care of business. We're donating to organizations whose job it is to look after stuff that we're too busy to do. So I don't think we need to do more.
That's exactly what I would say. We're doing all that we can. I don't know. I don't think we really have much capacity to change anything else, and so this is all that we can do, and so there.
Right, and if everyone just did what we do, if everyone did what we do, you know, this would be a different place.
We could all be on that big pillar together up there. That looks really good. Way up there.
We certainly could. We could.
Right. Okay. Belton, are you around? Have you been able to follow all these positions to hear? Okay, and
yes,
to follow
I have.
Follow what's going on. I thought that you might also, as our resident psychologist here, have some comments that you'd like to make about this way of exploring these states.
Yes. Well, two things that struck me. One was how the different positions allowed for a much more subtle and nuanced and multi-layered exploration of what probably feels like contradictory feelings in tension, feelings that in some ways are contradictory. So putting them out there into these different positions allowed them each to have their own voice and to have their own place in the conversation, which made them clearer and made the implications of them clearer and made it really brighter to understand the positions. What I didn't see yet was any dialogue between the positions as they relate to each other, because they're really, many of them are dynamically contradictory to each other and clearly set up a kind of tension which, as the whole, ends up being pretty anxiety provoking, I would think.
We didn't think we'd have time for that, but of course that is that's the next logical thing. Would there be two positions here that you would choose to dialogue with each other?
Yeah, it's the me first versus greater good. If we move away from denial and assume that we are really conscious of the conflict, I guess it would be between me first and the greater good. The position, I think it was Dancer's position, the meditation position.
Okay, so the meditation position and the one don't ask me to restrict my individual freedom.
Right.
Well, except
okay, so let's play with those. I want to,
you can,
because we do have a few minutes before we need to go into the next part. I want some of you to go on one platform and some on the other. So one of them is over here.
Hello.
This is don't ask me to restrict my individual freedom. Me first. All right. So some of you can come over here, and the other one is Dancer's position of all in due time. I'm just going to sit and meditate.
Yes, but actually it's related to procrastination, which is different, but you can take that point of view with it if you wish.
Belden, is that the dichotomy that you were referring to?
Sure.
Because I think maybe more
a way to express procrastination rather than meditation.
Maybe it's more 11. That's
It might be
the
more 11. Yeah, it might be more 11.
Okay, all right. So will some people come over to that one?
Where is that?
I was having trouble with the numbers. It took me a while to figure out which one was what number. So,
Okay.
pardon my beginner's confusion.
Totally understandable. You're doing great, and that was a really good suggestion. Okay, so here we are. We're looking across at the red car, and the red car is looking across here at us. Now, suppose these two positions were going to dialogue. I want the initial person. Where is?
That was Carla.
Carla.
Carla should be over here.
Oh, I need to come over there. Okay, I was going to change roles.
Oh, well, we'll try that. We're going to try that. Let's start with you in your own role, which is not actually a role, maybe even, but. So Carla should be here. And,
I'll go over there.
And Amy should be over. Lucida should be over with her red car.
well, actually, anyone can model these. It's not really a matter of, from my perspective, if
That's right. Except that she's gotten a head start, so she's a little more in touch with the thing, so we don't have to start from scratch.
So you want me to come over there? Oh, it's okay.
It sounded to me when you were doing that position that quite a few people really got off on that position.
exactly.
Yes, that's right.
This is closer to denial anyway.
That's right. Okay. So, Carla, just start us off. Represent this position to that one. To me first.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let me think. I think that spiritually we are all united. We are all in this together, and we're going to. This is a challenge for us individually and as a species to rise above some of our, more darker sides, to become more enlightened beings, and we can only do that by thinking about each other and the earth and working together collaboratively.
Okay, good. And Lucida, you just respond.
Okay. So sure, I'm all up for that as long as my choices aren't impinged upon, and I can still live my life the way I need and want to live my life.
Okay, so now, if anyone else who's standing in that position has something you want to say to that other position, say it now, and then I'm going to have everyone change places.
I do have something to say on behalf of this position, and it has to do with spirituality too. I'm a firm believer that God created this earth in 7 days, and that it was given to mankind that is, to use. So I would like you to understand better that this for me is actually at the very basis of it, a spiritual attitude.
Would one of us have a position?
Well, yes, I wondered, are we speaking both sides now, or how are we doing this?
Yeah, do we interact now? We
A
have
dialogue, or what are we?
I'm waiting to see whether anyone else on either platform has an amplification of that feeling state that they want to put out to the other side.
Oh, on this side, I would amplify something to say that if you can involve your belief in a bigger picture, you don't have to give it up. You just learn it well enough to express it from yourself, and then find it where it can go into this large picture There's no reason you have to destroy it in any way because it's an individual idea. You just like the stars in the sky, each one is very bright, and you bring them together and they make a whole beautiful galaxy.
Well, I'd just like to say
did that make sense to you, or do you want to debate it?
Well, I would say that, you know, that's your position. That's what you think. And so I don't know why you're trying to impinge on what I think. And if I have a different belief, then I think you should respect that and just back off.
I respect it. You don't have to do anything with it. What I'm saying is that you can still have it, but it can be seen as part of a bigger picture. You don't have to give it up. That is the idea, is if you have wrong beliefs, you have to give them up, but you don't. You can find how they are still the same ones, but they just belong to a bigger picture, and that's what I meant with the stars in the galaxy. They're still your star. This is still the same one.
Attack us. And would you please change places now? You go over to the other platform, and you need to empathize with that position. Okay, can you hear each other okay across the green here?
Yeah,
It's a little difficult.
Yeah, we can raise the voices.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay,
let's
but
start
it's
here
harder.
with the me first position. And now, suppose this were your position. How would you express it?
Well, over here I'm a star. Just one.
I'd also say that, this is the way all innovations, all growth and development have come out of the creativity of individuals. And allowing individuals to express themselves in the way that's most important for them is really part of everything, all the progress we've ever made.
Okay, so that's a good new point you're making about that innovators often are individuals. Start out that way. Okay, and let's go over here now and see what you have to say back. Now, I know you really have to work to adopt these positions, but try to get into it as much as you can.
It is very difficult. From this position, I almost feel as though I'm speaking for the entire planet that has a consciousness, and I realize that that's a very, very difficult idea to communicate with people who have a very, very different kind of spiritual cosmos that operates for them in their deepest and most sincere beliefs. And I wonder if one of the places of common ground that we can get to is thinking about what we do share in common, which, for example, is our love for our families and our children and our concerns about what kind of an existence they're going to have, regardless of whatever projections or arguments or anything else. What is it that we want our children to have? What kind of good life do we want for our children and their grandchildren and their children to have? Where can we come to some kind of common feeling about what we share in that respect?
Excellent. So that's another new facet that you're bringing out. That's about all the time that we have for this, but you get a little bit of taste about what happens when you explore the field and attempt to put yourself in different positions and argue from those positions. So now we're all going to go back to the circle.